Hello and welcome back. Today is day 11 of the 12 days of yoga challenge, and I am just so grateful that you keep showing up and that you've made it this far. There's only one day left. I don't even have enough fingers for the number 11. I guess I could get a toe involved. But thank you so much for being here. And y'all, home stretch. These last two are some of my more favorite postures as well. I think I've said that for everyone, but I hope that you enjoy them as well. So today's posture is called fish. We are specifically doing a version of fish that's called supported fish because we are going to be using props. So if you have a bolster, if you've been using a pillow, if you have a blanket, all of those are great, or blocks. I'm going to show you how you can use each one to just change the level of degree that you feel and sensation, and how you can make this posture work for you, depending on how you feel and depending on the day going forwards in your life. Okay, let's get started. We'll go ahead and lay all the way down onto the mat or wherever you're at. Take your arms and legs nice and long. Close the eyes if you're ready. Let the feet fall open and the palms flip up. Start to settle in as you allow every point that connects to the mat get a little bit heavier. Maybe you turn the head to the right and then to the left. Relax yourself a little bit more deeper into the posture and take a breath in. Let the belly rise to the sky and exhale. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. We begin to connect to the breath like we do every other time. And instantly you start to take a fuller breath, one that the belly rises a little higher to the sky, the chest empties out, and then you surrender. A few more. Soften the jaw, let your eyes get heavy, and just allow yourself to find stillness for a moment. An opportunity to just be with yourself. Allow the outside world to fade away. It'll creep back up sometimes, and that's just life. We're human. We are built to notice change. It's how our brains survive. It's how we notice differences in our lives and how we protect ourselves. But the change that I want you to focus on here is your breath. Take an inhale. Exhale. Next breath in gets a little bit fuller. Let it go. Great job. One more big breath in. Breath out. And we'll begin to move into our posture. So go ahead and grab your bolster or your blanket. We'll start with the bolster. I'm going to roll over to one side, press myself all the way up just to grab mine. And you'll lay it the long ways behind you, so as if you were going to lay all the way down on it instead of over it. So about 6 to 8 inches, or maybe a little bit more, from your hips as you sit towards the short end, and then extend the legs out. You may start with the feet planted or knees knocked in, and I'll show you why here as we lay on down. So when you get to the bolster, you feel it right below the rib cage, right there supporting the thoracic spine up towards the head. Now, in traditional fish, the head comes to the mat behind you. You're supporting yourself with your arms and then the top of your head. That can add some pressure to the cervical spine, and today we really want to chill, right? So here, I talked about the legs being bent, feet on the mat, knees together, especially if you feel some sensation in the low spine, a little too much there. Otherwise, option to extend the legs long and kind of start to find that little bit of a back bend starting at the lower spine. Arms will go out to about 45, and you're working the shoulder blades underneath you so that you prop your chest up towards the sky. A little lift of the chin is okay, and really allow the shoulders to fall heavy so that you expand through the front of the chest. You may be here. This may feel like enough sensation for you, and you hold. If you don't have a bolster and say you only have blocks, I'll show you what that would look like as well. One is going to go underneath where your rib cage is, and then the other is going to support your head. I'm going to use both of mine because those two are a little bit smaller. So the height depends on what kind of sensation you want. So if you're only going for a little bit here, maybe take them on their lowest height, sit it down, and then the head can go on the block behind you. If you feel a lot of sensation in the neck, take a block on the medium height so that your head feels like it's slightly above the chest. You can hang out here. Once again, the arms go out to 45 and expanding through the chest. You should feel as if you have a lift up of the heart. So another way that I like to take fish is to take a block underneath me the long way. This is a very intense variation. And then rest my head behind me on the other block. This one is going to go right on the rib cage in between the shoulder blades, and then my head will rest behind me. This gives me a ton of lift and allows the shoulder blades to kind of wrap around the block and open up. All great variations. If all of those don't feel good, you will take a blanket and roll it and take it along the rib cage and just allow yourself to lay slightly over that. You don't really need a block unless you want a little bit of a pillow, but just lifting up the chest and the heart. So take whichever variation works for you. Let's close our eyes and settle in together. If the legs are long, the feet can fall slightly open if that feels nice, or point straight up towards the sky. Close the eyes wherever you're at. Start to get comfy. Know that you can adjust and settle in. Once again, find your breath as you arrive here. Back bends, which is what you are in, is a naturally stimulating or energizing way to hold the body. So you need your breath here. Slide the shoulder blades underneath you just a little bit more, and then lift the heart up, maybe open up through the throat, and breathe. Let the eyes fall heavy, let the tongue fall from the roof of the mouth. And imagine that you have a light in your heart space, the center of your chest. Sometimes they call it a laser beam, and it shines brightly with every breath. And that light is stimulated and begins with joy. And you have a heart full of joy in this moment. If you've ever been to one of my yoga classes, you know that I love to end it asking you to think of something that brings you so much joy that when you think about it, you can't help but turn up the corners of your mouth and smile. And so here, maybe you imagine that thing, or a couple things, whatever it may be. Right now, for me personally, it's the kitty who just decided to join and lay on my lap. But you take a breath in. Once you have that image, that thought in your brain of what brings you so much joy, maybe it's your kid, maybe it's chocolate, maybe it's vacation, whatever it is, but you take a big breath in and you notice what it's like to be full of joy. And when you exhale, your light shines brighter and you share it with the world. Filling your heart space with just a little bit more joy, a little bit more cheer and happiness, starting with yourself. As you imagine the lift of the heart and the opening of the chest, you root down through the places of the body that are connected and grounded into the mat. Let your hips be heavy. Allow your feet to soften. Breathe. Every breath is an opportunity for joy, for stillness, for you. Don't miss it. You are free to stay here for as long as you would like. We will take our last 3 breaths together in this posture. Take an inhale. Exhale. 2 more here. Last one. Wonderful. Take your time. Slowly wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll the wrists and the ankles. Arms float up overhead. Take a big breath in. Bend the knees, place one foot on the mat and then the other. You can gently roll to one side, taking your time as you gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Eyes can be heavy. No rush to open. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Let's take one last breath in together. Inhale. Exhale. Once again, thank you for joining me today for our yoga challenge. I cannot wait to see you back here tomorrow for our last and final day together. Let the eyes flutter open. I will see you tomorrow.